Hey, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be talking about the 2002 version of the Count of Monte Cristo. This is the Jim Caviezel, Guy Pearce and Richard Harris version. So yeah, it's not a bad version. I would say this is the least book accurate version of the film that there is. There's a lot of things changed in this that are not in the book. So I'm just going to go through my thoughts about the movie, tell you if I like the changes or don't. So in this one we start off as with Edmond and Fernand as best friends. That is definitely not book accurate, but okay, we'll take it as the movie, the best friends. The captain of the Pharaon is sick. He's contracted brain disease, which is book accurate. He is bad. On this version though, they go to the island of Elba and actually meet Napoleon Bonaparte, which is not book accurate. And through the time that's spent there, that's how they get the letter to Edmond Dantès. Napoleon gives it to Edmund in secret, but Fernand sees. So it starts a little bit between Edmund keeping secrets. The one thing I did like that they did about this, now I love the book, but I can take the film as something separate. It's a similar theme, but the king of the moment, the chess piece, I did like that touch, because that's actually quite thing with friends, like, oh, you're the king of the moment. I did like that part. But yeah, when we get back to Marseille, I can't think of the name of the place ever saying. We get back, we obviously see straight away that Edmund's love of Mercedes, Fernand's jealousy is there. Seems like he's trying to get with her there and then. And Danglars in this film is played down massively to how he is in the book. Like, he becomes the ship owner, which he does not. He's actually like one of the top bankers and a baron in the book. So his character takes a massive step down in this film. We go how he says that Edmund's overstepped his place as first mate. Now, from my recollection in the book, you can comment down in the comments if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. That Edmund was number 2 in charge, and Danglars was the 3rd in charge. But in this, they've reversed it. And Danglars trying to get Edmund in trouble, saying that he went off to the island, and Morel actually agrees with Edmund and actually promotes Edmund to captain, which is sort of right in the book. It's not 100%, but it's enough there. And obviously, because Edmund can become captain, he can get married faster. So when he goes and tells Mercedes the good news, Fernand's there with her after trying to get her to sleep with him all the time. And obviously that speeds the process up, because back in them days, like, it was like more have to have position before they could get married. So instead of having to wait 2 years, they could get married there and then. So Fernand's jealousy shoots up even higher. And then we get to the plot, which is, I'm pleased they incorporated this, because to me it's an integral part of the book. It was not done in the latest version of the Count of Monte Cristo, the French version, which if you want us to do a video on that, I will. But yeah, like I say, the plot thickens. Now in the book, it's the wedding, like just before the wedding, that Edmund is taken, and this, it's just when he goes to see his father. A little change, but okay. Villefort in this film is also another character that is massively played down from the book. Like I said, this is a very cut down version of the book. but we have the revelation that he's going to be let go until he mentions the name Clarion, which is in this film, is Villefort's father. So that's why Edmond gets then sent to the Château d'If. Now, the Château d'If part of this movie is probably my favourite version that I have seen. I have not seen all the versions, but this is my favourite because it does focus more on his education and his relationship with the Abbé Faria is much better portrayed, in my opinion, in this film than in most, and I really do enjoy that. They do keep it book accurate, that after 14 years the tunnel collapses. No, that's not book accurate. But in the book, the Abbey gets sick for first time, takes medicine the second time, and then he dies. In this, it's the tunnel. I understand that change because it's a little bit more abrupt. It makes it a little bit more exciting to watch in a way. It's not as drawn out, if you know what I mean. So I don't mind that change, but the outcome's the same. Edmond swaps the bodies, he gets thrown out, and he kills the warden in this one, which film wise I like, book wise not accurate, but I can take that. That was a change that I like, especially because it got beaten every year. You can understand that. Next we have the beach scene where he's free, moves into a vampire. I can't remember his first name. And Jacopo. Now Jacopo is in the book, but actually his part's a lot less in the book than I remember than it is in the film. But that's not a bad thing. I quite like that. So they have to have a fight, and because Edmund's become not just because he could have just killed Jacopo and taken his place, but it shows the education and the change in his character. That he not only uses the situation, but he actually gains, well, basically a best friend, a very faithful servant for the rest of his life. And it's very cleverly done. So now we get to finds the treasure of Sparta, becomes the Count of Monte Cristo, and all that's pretty much, it's really good. I do like how he's introduced in this film. It's not totally book accurate because we have basically two introductions to him. We have when he buys the house with all the with loads of treasure, and I do like his entrance on the balloon. I think that is something that is, for that time, would have been absolutely grand and a very good spectacle to see. And I literally goes, "Hello, I'm the Count of Monte Cristo." And I think that's where he meets Villefort for the first time in this film, after his escape. And then we're back with Guy Pearce, who's Fernand, and Mercedes, and a very young Henry Cavill, who goes to Rome. Now, I haven't seen all versions, but yes, Rome is part of the book. I like that they do that, and I also like that they bring back Vampire, because that's who actually kidnaps Albert in the book. But I do like the fact that this time it's actually Count of Monte Cristo's friend. It is insinuated in the book that is the case anyway, but it is slightly different. But I like that. So like Albert wasn't really in no danger. It's all set up to set up things further. And then we have, after that, we go into him being introduced into the Parisian society. He goes to the house, and Edmond, well, the Count of Monte Cristo meets Fernand again and Mercedes. We see how poor Fernand has gone, even more so, character-wise. He's not a very nice person whatsoever, and he even leaves on his son's birthday to give the speech, leaving it up to Mercedes. And the Count, I think this is to show that he still cares and he's not quite as cold as he is in the book, if I'm honest, because he then takes over the toast. But none of that happens in the book, because Fernand is different in the book, because he's a general. In this, he's just a count. So, but I do like how we go into how he wants to do his revenge, which is good. How he gets Danglars is nowhere near, like in this book, in all the films really, Danglars and Villefort, then Fernand's the last, which is the exact opposite of the book, because I think Caderousse dies first, then Villefort, Fernand kills himself, and Danglars is the last man standing. So it is a lot different, but obviously from a movie point, you got to have the love interest between the Count and Mercedes. But at that dinner, Mercedes notices that the Count has a particular thing that he does in the film where I can't do it because I've got no hair, where rubs his hair like Edmond does. Now in the book, Mercedes does realise that the Count of Monte Cristo is Edmond. It's not spoken out till later, but she really encourages Albert to be his friend. And in this, so that is actually book accurate. But then after that, the coldness of the Count, Edmond's dead, took you only a month to get over him. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. Now I'm just going to cut to how the vengeance is taken. The Count sets them up with money, because they all need money, especially Fernand. Goes to Danglars. They're going to thieve. The gendarmes are there, and the Count gets his revenge on Danglars that way. In this, it's not how it's done in the book. Villefort, we in the steam rooms, and the Count's pressing him about Edmond Dantès and turning up the heat, and which is good because that's what he's doing physically and mentally as well. And then he says that about how Fernand killed his father and all this, turning up the heat on him some more. And then when Villefort breaks and says that Fernand would never do it because he was the one who murdered him, and they steam away, all the gendarmes are there, he confessed to conspiring to have his father murdered. Now this is my favourite scene in this, when Villefort goes into the carriage just like Edmond did, and they open the door and he gets in, and then the soldier says, for a gentleman, in other words, the easy way out. So grabs the pistol, goes to shoot it, nothing. And then the Count, Edmond, in the window goes, "Do you really think I'd make it that easy?" and walks away. Now that is not book accurate whatsoever, but I love that bit. That is cold as ice, and I'm here for it. And now we're on to Fernand's downfall. Throughout the film, we've seen how he's gambling, and the Count is making sure that he's losing even more, and then to get him into the situation, he goes off to try and get his spoils of the gold which isn't there. When he gets there, it's sand. He shoots open the last one, and then we have the chess piece, the king of the moment. And I like that. Just something so subtle, but there. We then have the Count there, and they want to fight, and Albert comes out of the wings and smashes the Count's sword, and we have a bit of a chat, talk about the thing, which is sort of done in the book. It's amalgamation of two parts of the book. And then, but in this film, we have Mercedes and Jacopo turn up and find out that Albert is Edmond Dantès' son, which is not book accurate at all. But for this film, it sort of makes sense, and that's why she was saying that she'd married the Count, because obviously in those days that would have been very, very looked down upon. So then we have the final fight. Now the final fight is actually pretty good between Guy Pearce and the Count of Monte Cristo. And I do like how they end the film, that he goes back to the Château and he's bored it. He was going to tear it down, but he's now done with his vengeance and he's going to do good. He has Mercedes there, and he's now son there as well. But like I said, it's not book accurate. It's a movie ending to me. It's not what happens in the book, and it's sort of more to cater to the romantic in people. For me, it doesn't hit as home as good as the book does, but it's a good version. If I had to give it a mark out of 10, I'd give it an 8. There is a bit too much changed from the book for us to say that I could give it a higher mark than that, but it is a film that I could watch again and again, and I have. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm just getting used to doing these type of videos, so there'll probably be not much editing on because I don't know it, but I'm going to learn how to edit better. If you like this type of content, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and leave us comments what you think of this film, and hopefully see you in the next one.